Hello, I'm Tim Beggins, president of Elk Trading Company. In this, the midweek natural gas report, natural gas prices are essentially unchanged, currently trading 347.60, up 1.1 cents, or less than half a percent. Prices are holding here above the daily pivot. First support at 335.70 did touch below that overnight, but is now bouncing a little higher off of that. Our daily pivot comes in at 357, about 10 cents above the market currently today, and well above that 367.80 will be that first pivot's resistance level. Let's take a look at the hourly chart. The hourly chart, as you can see, it did hold that pivot area. It is bouncing, but we are still below the daily pivot at 357. RSI is warning that their price movement should be toward the upside for the remainder of the day. We'll look to see if that 357 can be tested, but we may be holding here until we see tomorrow's storage report. Now, that report will probably be a nice net injection, but the following week, because of the cold weather that is prevailed across much of the country this week, may actually result in a net negative. So that will be long-term supportive of the market. Also supportive of the market, lower crude oil prices. Crude oil prices are currently trading well below $60 a barrel. At this stage, we'll look to see if associated natural gas production starts to decline from the Permian region if this continues. Let's take a look at the front to back spreads and see if the market's giving us any indication. Right now, as you can see, the front to back, this is for January versus the May contract, the spot contract. It is still on the defensive, not able to rally. The RSI has crossed over to the negative side. That means there's downward pressure on this spread. It means that the spread is going to start narrowing. Let's take a look at the front to back for October versus January. As you can see, got toward that break even at $1, but it is holding below that currently today, trading down at 95.6 cents right now. And it is still negative on the day, also starting to compress a little bit, which means that, well, unfortunately, the spot contract is on the pressure. So is the rest of the board. Basically, it's a risk off environment for commodities in general due to the equity turmoil. Let's take a look at ERCOT. ERCOT has got some high wind this morning. Wind is providing over 41.8% of the power load for the fuel mix for ERCOT. And the batteries discharged into the morning, which meant that power prices actually turned negative right around 8 o'clock, 8:15 this morning. We'll look to see if natural gas is injected into storage, that South Central Salt Dome storage, in next week's report. We'll see if some of that comes in because of this high wind and overall fairly low demand. The 8 to 14-day temperature outlook, much of the same. The heat is going to be toward the southwest, in particular around Nevada, Arizona, Utah, and parts of California. Still above normal temperatures across much of the southeast, maybe a little bit normal in Mississippi and Alabama. And then, of course, the northeast stays cool. And people did wake up to some cooler temperatures across much of that same space. As you can see, temperatures were down around 34 degrees in New York City, 36 in Chicago, and of course, the Texas was still doing fairly well, fairly moderate 50s this morning. Let's take a look at the trend for the weather, the long-term weather. As you can see, we're currently now in an ENSO neutral phase here. And right now, that's the dominant phase. So that means drought in the southwest, high dry temperatures across for summer. But as we move across into summer, into winter, it looks like La Nina starts to predominate here. And right now, we're looking for milder temperatures for winter. So looks to be a slow start for storage injections, but then we'll start to see some of that hot, dry weather come in for summer. And let's take a look at the temperature anomalies from the Climate Prediction Center. This shows, again, cooler temperatures in the eastern half of the country. That is prevalent all the way across for the next 2 weeks, all the way out to the 22nd, with the above normal temperatures in the western half of the country. But then it warms back up for much of the country as we approach the end of April and into May. As you can see, that heat starts to really be prevalent here across the southeast and all the way out into the west. Let's take a look at the stocks for the week. It's been a bad week for the oil and gas E&P sector. Everything that we've been looking at, the watch list has been down. As you can see, if you take a look at the maps, the uh, 1 week performance, unfortunately, is pretty negative. As you can see, the worst one right now, well, they're all really bad. Murphy probably being the worst and down 34% for the week. And the lowest one would be CNX down almost 12% for the week. We'll continue to look at this, but as we continue to see weakness in the crude oil prices, associated natural gas from the Permian region will decline. And we are reaching record exports for LNG, well over 16 BCF per day. So, again, long term trend higher for natural gas, short term under pressure because of the tariff turmoil in the equity markets. Right now, let's recap again. Natural gas prices are near unchanged, down a little bit now at 344 and a half, down 2.2 cents. Let us know your thoughts in the comments section below. Please hit that like and subscribe button. Thanks for listening. We'll see you soon.